Is meditation haram? Is it prohibited in Islam? It depends. If you're meditating in a way that's imitating the Buddhist or Hindu religion, or that has some sort of chanting that might be associating partners with Allah, which is shirk, and that's the greatest sin in Islam, then it would probably not be allowed. But if you do a secular form of meditation, like mindfulness meditation, it's completely halal. It's completely permissible. It's allowed. And no, it's not an innovation, because we're not trying to shove meditation into Islam and say that you have to meditate if you're a Muslim. Meditation is just a secular practice of training your mind. The same way you would train your body with exercise, we train our minds with meditation. So why even meditate? Why spend a few minutes every day meditating? Like, what is that even going to do? Well, meditation is a meta skill. And a meta skill is learning one skill that helps with literally everything else in life. Some meta skills would be like sleep, because if you get good sleep, everything else in your life improves, your focus, concentration, emotional control. A healthy diet would also technically be a meta skill, because your brain is clearer and you can attack the day better. In the same way, meditation is a meta skill because it gives you two qualities: presence and mindfulness. These two qualities can help you in literally anything. Like if you're a boxer and you're trying to jab and like dodge some punches, like meditation will help with that, because it'll help your focus and help you to not get stuck in your head. So what is presence? Presence is just being in the moment. And if you think about this is kind of a thought experiment for you. The past and the future don't actually exist. It's basically just a figment of your mind. Because think about this. You've never actually lived in the past or in the future. Every single moment you've lived your life was in the present moment. The present is this second that is currently happening right now, not the second that just happened, not the 5 seconds ago that just happened 5 seconds ago. When you become one with the present moment, you no longer worry about the past or think about the future. You just take the best action right now. Now, what is mindfulness, and how does that differ from presence? If presence is being one with the moment, mindfulness is almost observing it from like a third person point of view. It's kind of weird to explain, but if I put my hand out and I start opening it and closing it, and I'm looking at myself open and close my hands, I'm observing this happen. Who is actually doing the watching? Who is watching this? Who is watching my hand open and close? I could say it's me, but who am I? Am I my body? If I'm my body, then I'm just moving. But something is observing that. You could say it's my eyes that are looking at it, but what's using my eyes to look at my hands? That is your consciousness. Your consciousness is observing this movement of my hand. Or even if you put your hand out and start opening it and closing it, your consciousness is observing that. And that's kind of a wonky idea, because it's not you, but it's like this other entity inside of you that is doing all of the observing. So mindfulness is just tapping into this entity. We can call it the listener, right? Because if you're out in nature and you're just listening to the sounds around you, you're not doing the listening. It's like the entity inside of you that's doing the listening. He is the listener. That is the listener. So the listener just observes what is happening. He doesn't care. He doesn't have any emotional attachment to the present moment or anything. He is just listening. He is just observing. This is what happens when you observe your emotions. Right? You aren't your emotions. Emotions just kind of happen to you and you observe them. When you're angry, you just observe the fact that you are angry. So how do you actually meditate? Well, let's do it right now. Close your eyes. Seriously, close your eyes. I won't do anything suspect. I won't like kiss the camera, I promise you. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Take 3 more deep breaths. And really feel the air pushing into your chest or your stomach, coming through your nose. Really feel it. Really feel it. Really focus on that feeling of breathing. Feel every second, every little inch of breathing. Feel the breath permeate into every part of your body. Feel every little molecule of oxygen flowing in. At this point, you probably have lost focus. Maybe you're thinking about something from high school, or about the day that's coming up, or about the work that you haven't done. And just realize that and notice that thought. Just notice it without judgment. And then return to focusing on the breath. And you'll probably lost focus again. But that's okay, just don't judge it. Just observe that thought. And then refocus on the breath again. Take one last breath. Boom! You just meditate. Meditation is just a 4-step process of focusing on something that's in the present moment. So we just focused on our breath. You could focus on the feeling of rubbing your hands together like an evil villain, the feeling of your ass touching the floor. You can focus on anything in the present moment. And I like to call this the anchor. So your anchor can be the breath, it can be the sounds around you, it could be literally staring at a wall. Anything could be your anchor, and this is what you focus on. Step 2 is to continue focusing on it, but eventually you will lose focus. Your mind will wander into thought. You'll start thinking about the future or the past or about random things, about stupid things. And the 3rd step is actually realizing that. That's the realization of, hey, I've wandered into thought. I'm no longer focusing on my anchor. And then the 4th step is to just acknowledge it without judgment and then refocus on to the anchor. And you'll realize that meditation is just this 4-step process repeated over and over and over. And every single time you complete a cycle, you realize that you've lost focus and then you refocus. That is like 1 rep. Every time you go through that cycle, it's like 1 push-up for the mind. You get stronger every single time you refocus onto the present moment. Just the same way we train our bodies, we are training our minds to be more in control of our minds and to have fit, healthy minds. So the whole idea of this is that you meditate for the rest of your life every single day, even if it's just for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or even 1 minute. The same way you would never skip a day of exercise, you never want to skip a day of brain exercise or meditation. And now, how is this actually relevant to your Islam, to your deen? Well, meditation in this way actually helps you to focus in your prayer and to contemplate Allah much better. In prayer, you often wander into thought, and getting good at meditation will make sure that you bring your focus back to the prayer as soon as possible. So here's your action step for the video. Meditate for just 1 minute. Set a timer for 1 minute or just estimate in your head. And here, I'll literally do it with you.